Deny, defend, depose. That was what was written on the shell casings that they found at the scene where the CEO from United Healthcare was shot. For those who don't know, deny means deny the claim, defend means defend against it in court, and depose means depose the person in a lawsuit. Now, this doesn't really narrow down a suspect because I don't know anyone that doesn't have a horror story from a healthcare company. Like, I used to have United Healthcare years ago, and they're horrible. They're awful. Fighting with them constantly to get them to give me money back that they took for things that they shouldn't have charged me for in the first place. We still do not know what the motive is, and we still do not know who the suspect is, but this definitely gives us some clues. And don't let anybody from the media or anybody else try to civility politics you into feeling differently than how you feel. I also want you guys to remember that not only are health insurance companies evil, but anytime they try to lie to you about universal health care and say, oh, it's going to be socialism, Venezuela, blah, 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 blah. These are people that are from this lobby. It is these healthcare companies putting out that propaganda because their bottom line relies on you being absolutely desperate to pay anything to live. Oh, just FYI to foreigners who have universal healthcare, people like in the UK and Canada and shit, when I said that it was perfectly fine for you guys to comment on American politics because American politics affects everybody around the world. So I understand that. That did not mean commenting on our healthcare system. I meant you guys can comment on foreign policy because it affects you. But you guys have universal healthcare. So shut the fuck up. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. You have no idea what it's like to live in a place with for-profit healthcare and companies constantly gaslighting you and putting out billions of dollars worth of propaganda in order to convince the public to be against universal health care. Americans know how horrific and predatory for-profit healthcare is, but it's like too many of them still have like Stockholm syndrome in the relationship with their abuser. On top of the fact that people are already brainwashed against the idea of universal healthcare, despite the fact that people rightfully hate insurance companies, there's no point for them. They're just a scam. They're just a mafia middleman. There is no purpose for, conservatives especially will say like, oh, we hate bureaucracy. We hate bureaucracy, unnecessary. That's all healthcare companies are. They're just scams. They're just shit to get between you and your doctor. They are just useless bureaucracy in order to make profit for shareholders of multi-billion-dollar companies, okay? And that's already one thing when you're dealing with a company that sells shit. But when you're dealing with a company that makes its money off of you being sick, that's a whole other thing. And Americans are already getting screwed a waste of Sunday when it comes to this shit, okay? So like, for example, we spend the money to do the research and development into these drugs or vaccines or whatever. And then they make all the money and we have to pay for it again, even though we already paid for the research. It is very difficult to try to get Americans to understand that because Americans have been indoctrinated from birth with the whole free market. Free market is good. Getting ripped off by health insurance companies is good, actually. That's freedom. If you have healthcare, that's like socialism. So it's already an uphill battle. But unless you live in a place where you are dealing with the insanity of for-profit healthcare, I don't want to hear your criticism, okay? I don't. Especially from you motherfuckers with universal health care, okay? I'm talking to you, Canada.